Hello everyone and welcome to my place on the internet, where I am your host, Peter aka the MuttonChopGuy, where I jump into the sprawling world of manga and talk about niche genre within it, known as Gay Komi, or Bara. And that's how I open my videos. Well, I certainly hope you guys have been doing pretty well. It's been pretty crazy for me with a lot of doctor's visits and a lot of evaluations for my husband during his recovery process, but I always try to cram all my work in between all that stuff to try to get out these videos, and so hopefully I can get that done. Also, I hope I don't sound too weird, but if I sound a little weird to you, it's probably because I'm catching a cold that my husband had, because he tends to get colds in the fall. It is what it is.
Okay.
What is it this time around for this video that I'm going to be talking about? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because we got a new Gacha game that came out very recently, a few months ago. At the time of this recording. Yeah, I know it's not as surprising why we would get another gacha game in the world of Gay Komi, but that is the meta of the Asian markets, and the Asian markets love their gacha games. There's not much I can really say about that. But this is a very interesting game. It's very simplistic, but it does have some qualities to it that I think is worth highlighting. Plus, it's also a brand new game, so why not strike while the iron is hot? And what game am I talking about? A game called XXL Woofia. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have seen some of the ads running around on either Instagram or I've even seen it on Tumblr. Well, I'm sure all of you are very interested just by seeing what the labels look like on this game. So let's just jump right into it.
Shall we?
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Welcome to the world of Woofia, a world where ruggedly good-looking men thrive through various places within it. We start by meeting our main playable character, Ying Hyu. I don't know how to pronounce that. Waking up from an odd dream and preparing for his day at his job by cranking out a quick warm-up exercise. Wow. Only to realize afterwards that because of that, he's late for work at a gym called Hard and Firm. Yes, the gym name hits on the nose with that one. But there are gyms and fitness programs called Buns of Steel, which also got a reference in a Disney movie as Buns of Bronze.
On your left is Hercules Villa. Our next stop is the Pex and Flex gift shop, where you can pick up the Great Heroes 30-minute workout scroll, Buns of Bronze.
So Ying rushes to his job, meeting his fellow co-workers just outside who are working on promoting their gym with all the great classes and courses they provide. From Patty's dance classes to Mikey Roo's boxing training, while Ying promotes his bondage course with a free roping session? What kind of gym is this?
Daddy, chill.
Then the crew was interrupted by a group of men trying to pass through, and after a quick squabble of words, a fight breaks out between the group of thugs and our band of recruiters. The game labels them that, not me. So we go through a series of battles until the thugs decide to accept defeat and retreat away from the crew, which then results in them running into another member of the team, Kafka, the rock climbing coach, and run away after that. To celebrate their victory, Ying invites Kafka out for a bite to eat and a night at a bar, ending his work shift by handing it off to his other co-workers to continue the recruitment process. So they're having their meal while reminiscing about the toils of their day. Ying talking about how each member gave their best to defend their gym's reputation, while Kafka recalls his rock climbing expedition yesterday. Here we learn more about some of the other characters that work at the gym, and they conclude their meal with a night in the city. As they walk down the streets of the city called Section Hunk. Gee, I wonder why they call it that. They notice a pink aura that envelops the entire city in its glow. Little do they know that sinister things were taking place. So while they went gallivanting in the city, Ying and Kafka notices things starting to change around them with the pink aura persisting into the night. They see a shadowy figure with wings flying in the sky, hiding its face in the light of the moon, while jelly slimes start flooding the streets from the dark crevices of the city. At first, Ying thinks they're adorable little things until they notice that they were attacking the citizens. So they retreat to evade the horde of jelly slimes to find many more people incapacitated from them, being drained of their energy. It's then a gust of wind swoops down on our duo, just for it to disappear into the night, along with Ying's friends Kafka. Ying runs around the city searching for Kafka when a mysterious flying robot drone appears, and Ying slips on some jelly left on the ground, slowly falling unconscious as he is surrounded by the jelly slimes. In the darkness, Ying hears a voice that he heard in his dream, telling him that he must use his powers to save this world from the chaos that encroaches upon it, to be this mysterious being's avatar.
Chosen one! I'm coming!
Wow, we're getting a lot of mystery people in this already, and all we've done is fight jelly slimes and a gang of thugs. Any more spoonful of foreshadowing in this chapter? Okay, let's continue. Ying regains consciousness to find himself on the street and meeting the training recon drone called Flybo. She explains that she was sent from the outer realm to investigate the anomalous energy spike that occurred in the city. When she found Ying, she found that his powers could be useful for the situation that is unfolding in Woofia, and joins him on his quest in order to gather the information on Ying's unexpected abilities as she seeks the source of the energy spikes for her higher-ups. They find his co-workers while they search for Kafka, finding that Patty was in a melancholic state after an abduction attempt by a strange bat beast folk with pink glowing chains that the other crew members thwarted. Ying involuntarily places his hands on Patty to use his teal energy powers to revitalize him, only adding to the mystery of his powers. The crew then sets out on finding Kafka again, fighting even bigger versions of the jelly slimes along the way. And after discussing things further with Flybo about his powers that seem to manifest to his needs, Ying decides to try use his powers to find Kafka's location, which pointed him in the direction they need to go, and confirmed by a loud commotion shortly thereafter. So they head towards it to find Kafka raging through the streets, and have to fight him in order to subdue him. Once they defeat him in combat, they try to help him regain control of himself while he's subdued. Kafka says that he can't remember the things that he enjoys before being abducted, and Ying devises a plan to help him remember them by having a bondage session with Kafka in his studio?
What? What the fuck?
No, I'm not kidding. That is how they solve the problem. But Ying adds his teal energy to his skills in this session that helps Kafka regain control of himself and shedding any power the pink chains had on him. Once he regains himself, Kafka explains the chain of events that took place when he was abducted, drawing conclusions that whoever is behind this is trying to drain people of their libido energy for nefarious purposes. Then the Bat Beast folk from earlier returns to tell them that they won't succeed in stopping their machinations, whatever they may be, before flying away into the night to regroup with his organization about what transpired. The crew realizes that night of a terrifying notion that their days of peace and tranquility are numbered. What follows is a wild goose chase of a mystery that takes our small band of heroes to various places in Woofia, meeting more characters in need of their help due to a mysterious group who sets out to sabotage the inhabitants of their daily lives, leading them up to high-ranking officials of the Northern Trade Union, who learns about an unknown company called the Black Lodge that may be behind all these disturbances. Will our heroes be able to stop the nefarious organization from enacting their plans? Will Ying find out who is this mysterious voice that told him to be their avatar and the powers bestowed upon him? How far does this conspiracy go in the higher ranks of the Northern Trade Union? And what comes next for the world of Woofia?
Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z!
The story for this game is pretty much what you would expect from a gacha game, which is not bad, but I'm not seeing it breaking any new grounds in this territory. Yet. You never know, as this game only came out the same year that I made this video. You get the main character with mysterious powers that then is thrusted into a conflict that involves the whole world and then proceeds to solve various problems when they arise. First, we get a jelly slime invasion. Then a supply chain shortage due to the supplier being unable to produce said supply. To then go to the capital to deal with a power struggle, only to resolve it by teaching one of the elites what makes getting Tang such an important experience to have. Just to then be put on babysitting duty for a lackey by the same person in order to find and defeat a demon in a dungeon? I guess we've seen crazier stories in Gacha than this.
Yes, definitely!
But it's taken an episodic nature with an overarching plotline similar to many shonen stories we received over the years. And you can tell what kind of audience they were aiming for right out of the gate. You just gotta love how much they tie the mature content into the narrative. But I can at least admit that it doesn't get way too over the top. However, I have great news. They've made a safe for work version for the R15 market that you can get at the Google and Apple Play Store. Though you would think they would change things up with the CGs and dialogue, but instead just did major zoom-ins, which makes the writing seem odd if you don't know the exact context. It seems kinda lazy to me, but I can understand that they didn't have the time or resources to make those changes. But I think they should have crafted the game with that intention in mind to save themselves the headache down the road. I mean, Tokyo After School Summoners made their date quests clean enough that allowed for the rating it has. But they still pushed the envelope with some of their character skins. Let's just hope we're not stuck in a time loop in this game as well.
Welcome to my life!
There are other ways to get more lore about the characters and their relationships with each other, whether that is something casual or something that reflects a crush or even deeply in love. Some of it ties into the story or ties into the stories that the special events have going on. You just have to collect those tidbits through other methods like the hookup playroom. And yes, that is something I have never really thought I would see in a gacha game. You also collect more information through leveling up and upgrading your characters, or buddies as they refer to them, which I thought would give you much needed intel on them for things like the playroom, but it doesn't really do that, so enjoy that fluff, like I do from time to time. I will say that the events are pretty interesting as they focus more on the other cast members, helping with explaining all the different regions within Woofia and their functions alongside that. It's too early to tell how well the story is going to be since it just came out at the time of this recording, but from what we have so far, it is doing a lot of groundwork before they go ham on the plot with all of its payoffs, so I'm going to do what I do best and be patient. However, I know what it is that you really want me to talk about, and that is the gameplay.
Yes! Yes!
I'm not surprised to see the same simple gameplay mechanics that we've seen with other idle gacha games. Yes, you can hit the auto on this and the game will just do all the fighting for you. Just set your team up with the order you want and let it go to town when you go into combat. But you do have a level of strategy when it comes to said combat. Like most gacha games we get in this genre, you have an element system where depending on which element a character has will dictate how much damage is done to their enemies, or themselves. You got the usual rock, paper, scissors meta with fire, water, and earth, along with the usual light and dark balance system. You also have 5 types of battlers that are fighter, tank, healer, support, and vandal, who respectively deals damage, defend allies, heals the team, buffs the team with bonuses, or disrupt the enemy team with debuffs or stun effects. Each character have a basic attack, a limit break attack, and passive abilities that all really make for interesting combinations in the team building section. So be sure to study what each character can do, because some can attack all enemies instead of a single opponent. Of course, these skills that each character has improves when you level up their skills outside of their usual leveling system, which I guess is fine since you get to pick and choose which skills get upgraded. You also collect different resources to break limits of your level caps as well, which I start sitting here thinking that this is all just leveling up with extra steps. And I mean that because the amount of different resources for various things in this game is astounding. Just to level up and limit break, you need coins, jellies, and up to 5 different items of protein supplements, which you can get through story quests and event quests, or in the store if you have the proper currency for purchase. Not only that, once you hit a certain level bracket, you then have to accumulate another set of resources for that. Like, damn, why do we have all this stuff? You also have an energy resource symbolized by the lightning bolt, so you can't simply go ham grinding away for hours on end. Unless you have these energy supplements that give you more energy. But there is a great thing that I love to speed up the grinding process with something called fast passes, which skips you having to fight and just shows you if you cleared or failed the mission that you used them on. Yes, this is what I mean by the amount of resources you have to keep up with. And we're not done yet. Luckily, many of the trials and the events they host don't use your energy to clear them. But boy, are they really stacked against you. Of course, if you are able to max out your team, then these seem really easy. But if you do free to play, then it's going to feel like a slog to get through.
I've made so many mistakes. Oh, no.
Now, remember when I talked about a playroom? Yeah, so there's this thing that lets you increase your bonds with your buddies by what they refer to as hooking up. Yes, it's exactly how it sounds. The way this works is through finding the right cards that give you successful hits. What kind of hits? The arousing kind, of course. Okay, I'll see myself out. Wait, I didn't make this game. Why am I leaving? This is my video. They should leave.
Come on, you crazy bitch.
Yes, the cards showcase different kink type activities with euphemistic imagery. Each character have their own preferences, some characters overlap, and you lose the cards that are a miss, narrowing down your chances of misses and increasing your chances of hits. And if you get all 3 successful hits, you burn off all other cards. With each bond level you unlock, you get a CG, or what I can guess as a collectible graphic. But I'm not 100% sure if that's what it means. What does the bonding levels have to do with the character's fighting performance? That's not what it's there for. So moving on.
Are you sure about that?
While some of the general gameplay is generically simplistic, it at least has some variation to give you other methods of progressing in the game with your collection of characters. And with the various resources that you can accrue like currency, this game seems to be rather generous to the free-to-play crowd, which is a major plus in my book. All I, along with many of my Discord members, will tell you just to manage your currencies carefully so you don't end up in a position where you're unable to accumulate bells for special pull events. I missed my chance to get one XXL character and I'm paying for it through the nose. Metaphorically speaking, because I have yet to put any money into this game. You can do that. One thing I have to ask, since it's something that arose when I played these gacha games, specifically in this realm of gacha, is why do these games not provide a player versus player arena? I know there are a few who do provide this, but I wonder why we don't see it with this game, or games like Tokyo After School Summoners, Another Eidos, and Crave Saga. I know people will tell me this leans too far into the pay to win realm, but hear me out on this with at least this game. We have the game already calculating your team level, so you could use that as a metric to pair players up with other players in the same level range, making it more fair for PvP. However, if it's possible to buy all the resources for ranking up skills on characters, then I can see there being problems about that. I don't know, I personally think we should be able to do more than just collect and hoard. Just saying. With that, I can talk about the next major thing in this game.
Flawless segue.
If I had to guess where most of the budget for this game goes, this is most likely where it went. Not saying that is a bad thing. We all want pretty shiny things, and the art in this game is really pretty and really shiny. This isn't even counting only the characters. Just look at the backgrounds for this thing. Like, holy crap, the level of detail they put into all of these. It does a fantastic job making each location feel unique and stand out from each other, while also being able to tie them into each other with things like the Northern Trade Union to help with seeing certain characters in random places that they don't look like they fit in. But of course, that's not what brought you here. You're here to see all the fantastic cast of ruggedly good looking men that they want you to thirst over. And they do be making people thirsty. You got big guys, little guys, skinny guys, bulky guys, furry guys, and everything in between all of that. The quality of these characters are of high caliber that you can see the level of care were handled to bolster what this game is trying to go for. Top it off, many of these are animated with live 2D animation, which may seem lazy in regards to animation, but at least it gives us something more than still images that you find with many of the other gacha games in this genre. This, of course, makes the spicier content more interesting, but only some of them, while others are still images. Regardless, you can see the level of detail throughout every piece of artwork this game gives you, and then some. One thing that stood out to me is the music. You are treated to the stylings of the music one would expect from a game made in the Asian market, with all the current trends that I expect to hear from most anime shows now. We get all the new pop sounds mixed with the EDM club music that I have had people associate with the club scenes. Which, upon listening to the OST myself, yeah, okay, I can see where they're coming from. Yet, it's really fitting for most of the settings of this world. But I do find it pretty funny when I can tell they took a song and slowed it down, trying to match the mood of whatever is going on in the story. There is a popular trend with music edits online, typically labeled as slow and reverbed, where songs are taken and slowed down while adjusting the pitch and bathing it in lo-fi filters, with reverb being the core component of it. This isn't really the same kind of case here when the game does it, but I can see this being a tactic because of this trend. And while it can be a hit or miss for me, mostly miss, I'll leave that to you to come to your own conclusions. Yet there are a few that I think are absolute bangers that I would totally jam out to if a DJ mixed it into their sets at a club or a rave. But I'm an eclectic when it comes to music, so take what I say with a grain of salt on that. Most of the themes lead into the house genre that sometimes has a mix of dubstep into it, as well as other genres like electro, trance, and a touch of drum and bass, which was refreshing to hear outside of the festival scene. At the end of the day, I like what I'm hearing for fitting into the game, and love to hear what else they add as the game gets more updates. Overall, this is a pretty interesting game with an intriguing story with a rapidly growing cast of characters that could entertain a multitude of people in the audience. With a generous reward system, anyone can casually play through this game with relative ease and not have to invest a ton of money into it. It's not breaking any grounds with the simplistic gameplay that you can even run on autopilot, but at least it has some level of strategy that can scratch certain itches that people get. On top of all that, you get art of an exceptional quality that anyone who loves the men of the burly disposition. All I can hope is that they expand on the options within the games for things other than events and story, with something like PvP or guild battles, though time will only tell. The game, once again, also has a safe for work version that you can download in the Google and Apple Play Store absolutely for free, so give it a shot. And of course, on top of all of that, there was a wonderful fan who decided to make a little website that gives you all the information you need about each character, all their skills, how to level them up, and it's even been sponsored by the actual game developers themselves, and you can also download the full adult version there too.
It's free real estate.
And that is it. That is all for my video. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say in this one. Of course, I will say that the fan-made website will be linked in my description down below because I feel like that is a safe option to do. But you will have that there. You can download this game in the Google and Apple Play stores. They will also have a download link on that website that I link in the description that you can download the R18 version if you want. All that stuff is there for you. Go check it out. It's pretty interesting game, and in my opinion at least is a fun casual game that helps pass the time when you need to. And again, this game is also rather generous. If you do your daily logins, you get free pulls and all that stuff. I don't think it's one of the things I think this makes this game kind of stand out from a lot of the rest, and it's not so punishing on the free to play crowd. So, you know, give it a shot. But yes, if you like what I had to say here and you like what this video was about, please like, share, and comment on it. It does help me out a lot. It does great things. Let me know what you guys think about this game. What are some highlights about this game that you feel like people should know about? Please comment that down in the section below. It's great to have an engagement with you guys. And of course, if you have any other recommendations for me, please do not hesitate to also comment that down below, because I do keep a list of that stuff. Yes, I do know about Craze Saga and another Eidos and a lot of the other games I still have to play around and actually do a review on. I got those in my pocket, don't worry about that. But if you have some other games or other manga of the Bara, Geikomi, or men's love genre, please do not hesitate to let me know. I put those on the list so I have a whole thing to go through. And of course, as the time of this video comes out is close to Halloween, so happy Halloween. And as per usual, what I like to do during the holiday season is take time off, because I feel like every creator should take time off. Now, what I will be doing during my time off is I will be prepping scripts and stuff like that. So at the start of the new year, I will have a whole slew of scripts that I can go through and start making more videos and try to get back on my schedule. This end of the year stuff gets really crazy for me, so hopefully things don't get too bad. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It does help me out a whole lot. You can even go even further and donate to me on Ko-Fi. That link will be in the description below. Please follow me on all my socials to keep up with me when I do post new videos, because YouTube for some reason is having difficulty keeping people informed. If you are subscribed to my channel, please hit that bell, because that bell helps. And yep, that's pretty much all I have to say. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all next time. Bye-bye.